Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Clash of the Podcast. Today is March 24th, 2025. Raw is on live. We are here. Raw right now is across the pond in, was it Scotland?
Glasgow,
Scotland. So make sure that you guys are all tuned in. The main event currently is Braun Breaker and Penta battling for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm sure you guys will get some good insight from Sean and myself. We have a pretty large show to run down, so there's going to be a lot happening here. I'm going to probably do the honors early, and I'm going to ask my brother to hit me with that famous line so we can get right into it.
You already know it's rock and roll, man. Conrad, my brother, drop that thing.
Welcome, everyone. I see a lot of you are in here already chatting it up. We appreciate that over here on this side of things. Sean, let's get into the shout outs right away, man.
All right.
Clowns.
1-3Z, 4-Tweezy in the building. He says, afternoon, everyone. Afternoon,
Appreciate you, Clown. He said, why does it feel like only Triple H is going into the Hall of Fame this year? Well,
yeah, but he doesn't like the spotlight. That he's such a humble guy.
No comment. Ray Thompson says, happy Monday, guys. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We hope you had a great weekend, Ray.
Same to you, Ray.
We enjoyed celebrating our daughter's early birthday party. Happy birthday to your daughter. Great weekend with the family. Gotta say that was a top 3 Cena promo of all time for me last week.
You know what the funny part is? I agree, but it's not saying much.
I've digested that one, and that's on our list of things to talk about tonight.
Yeah, there's only one babyface promo I've ever liked, and that's when he joined Monday Night Raw in 2005 and was on Jericho's show, and he chewed up Christian.
Man, XG Dub, the best place to be at 6:05 p.m. after watching some Raw in the middle of work. Appreciate you.
XG Dizzle, M. Leezy Fo Cheesy. He says, hello, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a good weekend. And let's kick this week off right with 2 aces of our pro wrestling community. And rest in peace to the late, great George Foreman. Ironic, 76 years old, had 76 career wins.
Yes, there's a lot of RIPs, man. I do have George Foreman. I do have the graphic up for my guy. RIP to George Foreman. I know we talk about boxing. I'm actually wearing a boxing shirt right now. So, yes, RIP to George Foreman. And some of you may know him for the Foreman Grill. And to make things whole, Hulk Hogan allegedly turned that down at one point in time. So, womp womp.
Well, good. I'm glad George Foreman reaped the benefits of Hogan's idiocy.
Also, legendary WCCW announcer Bill Mercer has also passed away. So if you are a fan of the old school pro wrestling, that is another loss in our community. Thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of George Foreman and Bill Mercer.
One of the most iconic announcers in wrestling history. I'll never, ever forget. Obviously, I saw it on DVD years after it took place, but his announcement of the death of the late, great, I believe his name is Gino Hernandez, was one of the most bone-chilling, and I mean that in a complimentary way, announcements I've ever heard. Like, he made the fans realize it was something real, it was something serious. And now, all these years later, he has gone on to rest in paradise, and I wish his family nothing but the best as they console each other and we console them.
Much respect, Sean, for that. Thank you for dropping that nugget of knowledge as well. Where did I leave off here? Pro Wrestler Shoot says, what it do? Make sure you check them out tomorrow. They're going to be going live, doing something video game related with WWE 2K on their channel. So check them out at 8 p.m. if you don't feel like watching NXT. Make sure you do that. And I know they're going to be in here saying, what's NXT? Jimmy Uso, Rick James, Gunther. Love it, love it. Guy Will Gamble says, "Europe, happy Monday, everybody." What's good, Guy Will Gamble?
Guy Will Gamble, always a pleasure, my G.
Finally, what did the five fingers say to the face?
You can't see me.
Or slap, depending on what show you're referring to.
Yeah, true.
That's not what the five fingers said. Braun Breaker versus Penta for the IC title. We all know what happens. Enough said.
Well, that's too close. What up, Derek? My guy, Derek. How you doing, brother?
He says, my guy, Hubs. Bro, I don't even want to comment on that. Sometimes I wonder what we're doing here. Monday is the best day to talk wrestling. Conrad, Sean, and chat, bring the heat. What's good, Jocelyn? What is good?
All my single ladies, all my married ladies. Now put your hands up. What up, Jay?
Watched a lot of World Class on Peacock. Bill was an underrated commentator. For sure.
I'm lazy. Well said.
I love it. I love it. Sean, I don't know if you have it on right now. What's going on with the main event?
I'm not watching, man. I'm not watching. I'm focused on Clash of the Podcast because to me that's even more important than Monday Night Raw.
Woo. Okay. All right. I got it. I can see it now. I got it on silent right here. But let's go through this news first because, brother, lots is happening. I know we've mentioned stuff. WrestleMania weekend's building up, man. They got NXT Stand and Deliver is going to be happening Saturday, April 19th at 1 p.m. So before night one of WrestleMania, you're going to get a little NXT Stand and Deliver. I like the poster here.
I love the poster. It's amazing that, I mean, I wish I was a part of this. Like maybe one day we really need to kind of make a concerted effort to go because the West Coast hours are crazy. 10 a.m. bell time for this pay-per-view. People are going to be up having breakfast with WWE. They got WrestleMania weekend on Smash. Nobody does a big weekend like I got to give WWE credit. It's facts. I mean, they kill the entertainment value for that weekend. You got to give them that. And believe me, I'm a very big critic of WWE, but I can't knock them for this.
I'm not mad at it. I think it's a lot for one day though, too. Ever since they moved it to like the day before, yeah, I find it hard to like watch this, then come back again later for the other part.
Okay, let's analyze this for 30 seconds or less. NXT at 1 p.m. Eastern time, right? I mean, 10 a.m. West Coast, but we're here in New York, so let's talk about our reality, which is 1 o'clock Eastern time. You're going to be able to take a little bit of a break. I mean, I actually have, because it's Easter weekend, I actually have some stuff planned with my family in between NXT and WrestleMania Night 1. It's not bad. No? Yes?
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. I think it could be one of their better shows, so hopefully they can bring the heat. But like I said, I'm a graphics nerd, and I actually really like what they did here with the suits and everything around it. So well done. Well done. I'm going to ask you a question, but it has nothing to do with why I'm asking you it. I want you to pick the Click or Undertaker.
Just randomly with no concept.
Nope, not giving you anything else other than that.
I love the pick the Click or Undertaker. With
Not out of favoritism. You're picking randomly for a question.
Oh, Undertaker.
Sean, chat. What is your favorite special entrance ever? Let's make it WrestleMania themed. What is your favorite WrestleMania entrance ever?
I'm gonna cheat. This is cheating, what I'm about to say.
Limp Bizkit, WrestleMania night. It's okay.
I'm gonna go with
rolling.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the combination and the symbolism of Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25.
Oh, that was a very good one. Very good one. I'm going to go with the one that sticks out in my head the most, and some people may not say this because now it's like, oh, big deal. But back then I thought it was a big deal. WrestleMania 12. I will always remember Shawn Michaels coming down from I don't know what you call those things.
Wait, time out. You asked me what my favorite Undertaker entrance was of all time.
No, I didn't. I said WrestleMania. Undertaker had nothing to do with it. I told you that from jump.
What?
Special entrance.
That's not the right answer then.
You're living with it. No, go ahead. What's your favorite WrestleMania entrance then?
I gotta think. Go ahead.
Limp Bizkit. So WrestleMania 12, Shawn Michaels, the winds were a-blowing. He comes down, not knowing if the boyhood dream was gonna come true. It's I don't know. I just always remember that. Shawn Michaels is my favorite. That's a little bias in me, but I just remember WrestleMania 12, the Iron Man match, the whole Gorilla Monsoon basically screwed over Bret Hart. He followed the rules, and at least the Bret's like heel turn, I think it was like the first piece of it that was happening.
Right. I'm going to stick moderately with what I said. Since it's the greatest WrestleMania entrance of all time, I'm going to say Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 25 because he came from the heavens. It represents his faith. It represents the new man that he is at the time, and me being who I am as a human being and a man of faith, and Shawn Michaels' #1 fan who considers Shawn Michaels to be the greatest wrestler of all time. I'm going to still go with WrestleMania 25.
Deanna, welcome. Connor, welcome.
No.
Imagine going to an NXT show at 10 p.m. That's insane. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if I was on the West Coast, though. That would not be that bad, I think.
I would get up, bro. I would get up at 8 o'clock. I would have breakfast. I would go to I would make a day of it, bro. I would have so much fun.
I think you could. I think it's definitely possible with what they're doing. Not including all the indies streaming on WrestleMania Saturday is a loaded day. Yeah, that's a fact. T Ferg saying RIP to George Foreman. Much respect, man. Let me see here. Cena in Chicago was tough, but my favorite is always WrestleMania 12 HBK. Randy Orton circa 2017, where he walked out on the snake that looked like giant sperm. I remember people saying that. I was in the arena for that when we were like, what is this? I remember all the stuff popping up on the mat. We were like, what is this? 1, Seth Rollins last year. 2, Bray Wyatt versus Taker. Pro Wrestler Shoot says, take the first pick. Anything WrestleMania 19 gets the dub. Let me Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was all right. Limp Bizkit was a great band back then, back in those days. All right. Let's hop into, what do we want to call this? The news, I guess, here. Let's see, talk here with Brandon Thurston. Sean, I'm going to let you read that. We got a little piece of news here.
Absolutely. Endeavor has completed being taken private by Silver Lake, a process that's been previously announced and in the works for many months. As was also the plan, TKO remains a publicly traded company, even as Endeavor owned the majority of TKO.
So, yeah, things just to pay attention to when we're just talking about the world of pro wrestling. There is a overall larger article here that talks about it. You guys can go see that. But Brandon Thurston has talked about it, mentioned it. I'm sure that there'll be a special on it in the next day or two as well. So keep your eyes peeled when it comes to that. Hall of Fame news today, Sean. You're our Legends guy, man. Tell the people, is this well-deserved as a tag team for the Natural Disasters? I know they weren't a team for a long time, but
it would not have been enough as it relates to Tugboat, a.k.a. Typhoon. His resume is not strong enough to be in the Hall of Fame. Earthquake, his feud with Hogan in 1990 was strong. It was obviously the strongest feud he had in his entire career. People forget that from mid-1990 through 1991, probably I'd say through WrestleMania time, 1991, when we had the emergence of the Iraqi sympathizer kayfabe Sergeant Slaughter, the Earthquake was the biggest heel in World Wrestling Entertainment because of what he did to Hogan. This team was put together because Earthquake's steam had run stagnant. The Tugboat gimmick had run stagnant. And they decided to put these two guys together. Obviously, the Natural Disasters is a tremendous name. Earthquake and Typhoon, that does work. They were two big 400-pound guys. Former tag team champions, won the belt on TV, lost the belt on TV. I'd say no. I do not think that they are deserving Hall of Famers, but it's not something that I would scream from the rooftops. And I'm going to tell you why. And you're going to think I'm joking. You're going to think I'm joking and throwing shade. But this is actually a compliment to the natural disasters, even though I said that I think they're a shaky Hall of Fame entrant. I'm not going to scream from the rooftops that the natural disasters should not be in the Hall of Fame, because I did scream from the rooftops that the Bella Twins did not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And I do not have the same level of displeasure of the Bellas going in compared to the natural disasters. So though they are not Hall of Fame worthy in my estimation, Conrad and chat, I would say that due to others who have entered the Hall of Fame, they are worthy as it relates to those standards. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think in totality, if you look at their careers, do they deserve to be in? I'll say yes. Do I think the natural disasters run deserve? Yeah, I mean, now we're splitting hairs, you know what I mean? Right. But I respect Earthquake was more than just Earthquake. He was Golga. He was the Shark. He was Avalanche. He did a lot of stuff for people. He also competed in sumo wrestling. Some people don't know that. Tremendous amateur wrestler, and probably in this picture he's probably 28. Like, look at that, brother.
He had an old soul. His features were a little older than what he was.
I just love that about wrestling. When I was a kid, like, I thought William Regal was like 40 when he was really like 22 or 24 probably back then. Look at Uncle Fred here, Typhoon. He was also considered to main event WrestleMania 7. Some people don't know that, but according to Bruce Pritchard, he was possibly going to turn heel in main event against Hogan. He's got the Shockmaster. That alone should just put him in the Hall of Fame for one of the best botches of all time. But tremendous work throughout the whole thing, and I think he always remained loyal. And I don't really meet anyone who has something bad to say about either one of these guys. I've never seen anyone say something bad about them.
And that right there, Conrad, if I may, is the perfect segue to part 2 of what I have to say about the natural disasters. I do not have anything negative to say about this team. I don't have anything to say about either one of them that's negative individually either. When I think of the greatest tag teams in World Wrestling Entertainment history, professional wrestling history, I think of the Horsemen, I think of Demolition, I think of the Hart Foundation. The natural disasters do not immediately pop into my head. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why it's not even their fault, Conrad. You don't have the natural disasters go to WrestleMania and win by count out when the Money Incorporated runs away and doesn't want to finish the match. You have to give them a payoff. Did you notice what I said earlier, Conrad? I know I say that rhetorically because you notice everything. They won the belts on TV. They lost the belts on TV. You have to have, in my opinion, your pay-per-view moment. The natural disasters never had their pay-per-view moment. And I think that hinders them when people in the effect of when you say natural disasters Hall of Fame, you're going to get that because they never had that moment. What would you say? As a matter of fact, here's a perfect question for you, Mr. Cushman. And I say this with love and respect for natural disasters. I think they were awesome. I just don't automatically throw them directly into the Hall of Fame. What would you say was the natural disasters defining moment as a team?
I think becoming baby faces, getting rid of that slime Jimmy Hart, and he went over with that. I like Jimmy Hart, actually. I've met him a bunch of times, but basically just getting rid of them, becoming baby faces. Like you said, they never really had that win. And I really feel like if history's lending my mind right, I feel like Legion of Doom was supposed to be the real long-term plan. Mm-hmm. They had to punish because of Hawk or whatever foolishness was going on backstage. I don't know exactly what happened, but something felt off. And then it became Natural Disasters. We could count on these guys. We can count on Money Inc. And then the Steiners came in, and then they all just got mixed into this like let's trade the belts, and we don't know what'll happen with the tag titles.
When I say that I don't feel that the Natural Disasters had a defining moment as a team, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's a perfectly well stated thing. I feel like they're on the. If you couldn't get anyone else, could you put them in? Sure. Like I said, do they deserve to go in for their overall efforts into wrestling? I think you'll agree with this. Yes.
Yes.
Are the Natural Disasters a Hall of Fame tag team that should be put in over Demolition? No.
Right. So it's a difficult one, but I will not, like I said, I will not be screaming from the rooftops that the Natural Disasters do not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame because they were very good guys. And honestly, I look at them the way I look at my the guy that I consider the greatest New York Giant quarterback of all time, Eli Manning. Eli Manning is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he should have been. But the consensus is that Eli Manning should not have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. But eventually he will get in. As we go and we're talking about many years later now, right? So, they didn't get in the class of 2000. They didn't get in the class of 2005. They're getting in the class of 2025. So I think this is an appropriate time to let them in. I think Demolition should be first, but...
And I'll give Barry Darsow credit. He just tweeted out that they deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, no ill will. They deserve it, blah, blah, blah. And we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with it. He is Uncle Fred to someone who's on top right now as well. So, and I don't want to throw shade on it or anything like that. It's not meant to do that because he was around way before this person was. So congratulations to the Natural Disasters. Much love to them. Joel, thank you for the $2 super chat, my friend. I saw you. I didn't want to interrupt Sean while he was making his point. We were rolling with that one. Happy Monday, guys. Just tuning in. Joel, thank you so much for that. He also says, John Tenta had a very sad story. Well-liked, supported his family, and died doing what he could to support them while figuring out he was dealing with cancer. Yes. I feel strongly both men individually as a tag team and as a tag team belong in the Hall of Fame. He said, boo, give me the Shockmaster. I'm sure he'll bring it up when he's up there. Shockmaster for Hall of Fame. Haku laughing at the Shockmaster for sure, James. For sure. Eli beat Brady twice at Super Bowl. He's got to be, and I agree. He was the kryptonite for them, for one of the best teams ever. They never gave the Natural Disasters a pay-per-view moment. I don't know if you were looking at me funny like that, but
no, I was gonna respond to Joel's comment. First of all, thank you for the super chat, Joel. We appreciate you. I appreciate your respect for John Tenta, the man, and for each gentleman as individuals. I disagree with you, however, that both men individually would have been Hall of Famers. And I say that with a great deal of respect for both men. I don't think either man Earthquake was on like kind of on the cusp. I would say that Typhoon, if you took his look at his accolades as a singles competitor, probably would not have made it in. But that's the beauty of tag team wrestling. I think the Rocker should be in the Hall of Fame. Marty Jannetty would never be in the Hall of Fame as an individual, but I think the Rocker should be in the Hall of Fame. So that's the beauty of tag team wrestling.
Yeah, and I think a big thing too, this has been one of my issues with the WWE Hall of Fame. Give people their flowers while they're here. Yes. Too many times we have people go up there and it's like they're gone, man. It's not the same. I want to see these guys happy and just know like, oh man, they really did appreciate me. They acknowledged me. Like, yes, let them have that. And that's going to come up here for the next person I want to talk about. Next rumored name being internally discussed for the Hall of Fame, according to WrestleVotes, is Kamala. Kamala is absolutely one of my favorites. Now, do I like the gimmick? Do I understand what they were doing? Yes. We all, I think, are smart enough to know. This was the 80s, though, and this is what they did. But as a performer, I always loved Kamala. He worked with all the top guys, and I think one of the things we can quickly touch on with this is I think Kamala probably felt like he was never paid fairly. That seems to be one of his big, like, what's the issue? I wasn't paid fairly. I didn't get my just due.
My goodness, this is such a tough one for me because the man James Arthur Harris is someone I respect so much. God rest his soul. The character Kamala obviously rubs me the wrong way as an African American male. But like you said, that was the 80s, so we won't harp too much on that. This is gonna sound really upsetting, but like this is just how I feel. If you're gonna work that gimmick and you're gonna be that guy, and it's no knock to him. He fed his family. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about World Wrestling Entertainment. If you're gonna put that gimmick on him and he's gonna be that guy for you, if he's gonna be that guy to be put in the coffin by the Undertaker, if he's gonna be that guy to take the big boot from Hogan and the leg drop on many house shows leading up to big events where Kamala didn't even get a chance to be the payoff guy, it was kind of like a setup guy for somebody else. If you're gonna do that, then you need to put him in the Hall of Fame and give him his flowers. Unfortunately, as you just articulated very beautifully, Conrad, unfortunately, he would not be able to smell those flowers. But there's some, very well put, Deanna, there are some gimmicks that don't translate well. And for that, humbleness and appreciation for the business that allowed him to probably do some things that he maybe wasn't comfortable with for the betterment of the business that he loved, I would say he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Like we said, to me, there's the headliner. Is he the headliner? No. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, if Kamala goes in, I'm happy for him. I know the brother was a double amputee, I believe, towards the end of his career and his life. Kamala always had these great stories. I love the story about him driving a truck. I love the story when he had said that like he didn't want Vince to see him driving the truck because he would be so embarrassed of it. But he also mentioned a great story about he was going to sue Vince, and that's how they brought him back to the company.
And my brother, this is, and I know it's like, Sean, don't get us kicked off the air. Not only was he the Ugandan giant Kamala, he was also a character named Sugar. I just want this to resonate, guys. I want this to really resonate. If you're black, white, Spanish, Asian, blue, purple, or red, this should resonate, okay? He was also a character called Sugar Bear Harris. And if that wasn't bad enough, for a, hello, McFly, a big black man to be called Sugar Bear, he was also called Ugly Bear. Ugly Bear Harris. I mean, need I say any more?
Yeah, and I'll say this in semi-defense of WWE, they didn't give him these gimmick names. Technically, it was Jerry Lawler who gave him the Kamala gimmick.
Right.
But the other names, I don't know where they came from, who thought of them. But at the end of the day, they were paying for what they wanted. Like, yo, this has worked on in Memphis. We'll take that. Thank you. And we'll use it and have Hogan put Hogan over. That's what they wanted.
That's fine. I'm just trying to make a point, and I appreciate your counterpoint, Conrad.
No, and your point was made.
Yeah.
I definitely take it. I'm going back in here real quick. I'm going to acknowledge a few people in the chat. And then we still got some more news. We got a lot of news to fly through here. McKinney, where were you? I'm sorry. He said, I'm here to talk wrestle with the Fire live chat. My favorite homies on the wrestling podcast circuit, Clash of the Podcast. And to let y'all know, it's a 33 and a third chance for CM Punk to win at WrestleMania.
That's true.
Rob says at the end of the day, it's the WWE Hall of Fame. In my opinion, it only truly means something to the guys going in. Stacy Keibler is a Hall of Famer. I mean, not wrong. Not wrong.
Conrad, there's moments where I get real heavy on y'all. And I'm gonna keep it light with this one, but who was just mentioned? Stacy Keibler?
Yeah.
Of course she's a Hall of Famer. If the Bella twins are Hall of Famers, do you understand how low the bar has been laid when we talk about maybe I'm wrong. Conrad, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you believe that the Bella twins deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? If I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong.
I'll say this. The Hall of Fame is the imagination of a person. There is no voting body. There is no criteria. You just go in because. And that's just me being fair. Thank you, Rob, for confirming. Yeah, blame Lawler for that. That's true. Drew Carey's in the Hall of Fame. That's the celebrity wing thing too, though.
That's celebrity wing.
I get it.
Thank you.
I get it though. Demolition over natural disaster. Sid, Luger, Victoria, McCool, Cyndi Lauper. I hear you guys. I hear you. Let me see. Kamala's entertaining gimmick. There's a match of him and Bryan Danielson. Yeah, like I said, Kamala's a legend in pro wrestling too. Like I think a lot of people have respect for it. Kamala should have been in the Hall of Fame with that last round of the Golden Era Superstars, just on the fact of the LGN toy is a holy grail item. Yeah, you don't find too many of those. But Sean, I do think you make an excellent point though about the Hall of Fame, and I'll do the classic, Sean. We're here. We're only right here.
And somebody who I respect, somebody that we respect, somebody that the show respects, Jocelyn, does believe the Bella Twins deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. That's fine. That's fine. I don't see it, but I respect it.
Right. James says, where are the refs for the Hall of Fame? Jim Johnson. I think everyone should be eligible to go in. If you're part of the show and you're mentioned, why not?
Yep.
Ken Shamrock's another rumor name. I definitely think Ken Shamrock deserves to go in. I'd like to see him go in for a short time. This guy's the reason why the company has tap outs in their matches. I know Taz did it before too, but Ken Shamrock's the reason for tap outs in pro wrestling. He had a Lion's Den match just for him. He was a successful UFC fighter who I think brought that in, kind of that vibe. Like, okay, he's a legit tough guy. He's a shoot tough guy. He can do this stuff. So I'd like to see Ken Shamrock go in.
Conrad, this is going to be my least wordy response of the afternoon. He changed the game. He brought the MMA element to world wrestling, to the world of wrestling, 100%.
Yeah. And I can kind of hear Jocelyn's point too, where she said, yes, like them or not, with the Bella Twins. I see your point too.
I just responded to her. I said, I understand.
No, I agree with what you said though, with the understand point, but I also hear your point too to it.
Right.
Lex Luger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, I know Fightful Select has this up. Go subscribe to Fightful Select. It's $6 if you guys want these exclusively. I'm going to summarize this instead so we can move quicker. WWE wants Sting to induct Lex Luger because that's who Lex Luger has asked to do it. Sting is signed with a Legends deal with AEW. Now, there's a debate going on, Sean, and I hope we don't get too deep into this one because the rest of the new stuff I'm going to kind of read over and acknowledge as respectfully as I can. But should Tony Khan and AEW say, you know what, we'll be the bigger person and let Lex go in? Or should they say, remember with Billy Gunn when I asked you to say he was an AEW wrestler and you didn't want to do that? Then you made jokes about my company when I let Billy Gunn go on air there. And you've been making me mad by following me around as we talked about last week. Should Tony do this? There's a debate online for it. And I can hear both sides of it. And chat, I'd love to know what you think. Just simply, should he be in?
Outside of The Rock and John Cena, because I don't think either one of them as individual contractors would be available. If I were Tony Khan, plain and simple, the answer would be yes. But I have to have my pick of one of your big guys to appear on one of my shows.
And last time, I think they said no, like they wouldn't negotiate with him either.
Okay, if they don't negotiate, then you're not getting Sting.
There it is. I mean, they don't want to give anything. Remember that. Then
the answer is no. The answer, you want something from me? Don't you dare tell me you want something from me and I'm not going to give you anything back. Screw you. The answer is no. Then the answer is no.
Because with Billy Gunn, all he wanted him to say was like have a graphic that says AEW wrestler or something, just for a second.
Which is perfectly reasonable. But again, this Sting thing makes me mad, bro. This Sting thing makes me mad. How dare you? How dare you ask me for Sting and don't want to give anything back in return? If that's the answer is no.
Right? Rob, not to defend the Bellas, they were huge mainstream transcending business, help grow the company market share with their limited on-screen time exposure. Yeah, that total Divas Bellas thing did get them a lot of bread. And, once again, it helps to who you're with and all that stuff too. Let me see. Jericho was on Stone Cold's podcast. Yeah. Unless he gets something in return, Rob said, absolutely not. Why should Tony do it?
Rob, I agree with you completely. How dare you even fix your lips to ask me for a favor, and you're not going to do anything in return. So you just want me to just give you Sting for the night, and I get nothing? Who the hell do you think you? Please,
right? And I get Matt's point too. This is the other side of it too. I think TK should just do it because Sting wants to do it for his friend.
Yeah, but that's and let me say, I respect that, M. Leezy. But you have to draw a line, man.
Somewhere.
You have to draw a line in the sand. There comes a point where it's honestly, WWE is gonna get. You know what? Give me Jimmy Uso. Give me for the night. Give me. Give me LA Knight. You better do something.
Have Cody on AEW television.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you notice, I said right, but if you notice, I said Jimmy Uso. I said LA Knight. I understand you can't give up Seth Rollins. I understand you can't give up John Cena, The Rock. I understand you can't give up Cody Rhodes. Send me your United States champion. Stop playing with me, bro.
Let him use some footage if he needs it for something.
Something.
Yeah. WWE stays punking people out. Here comes James, sarcastic. We'll give you Bischoff in return. No, he's done with the business, he said. He's done. And WWE put out a word to sway public opinion, so Tony is in a lose-lose situation.
Right. I love that, Rob, because that's exactly what AEW is not allowing Lex Luger's lifelong friend help him out and induct him into the Hall of Fame. You know what? You can play that violin for me all night long. The answer is no.
Someone said Sendo Mas. Joel's trying to book us to go up against the Hurt Business. Why should Tony continue to be the bigger person when they're putting on shows around what they have?
Come on now. Thank you, Jocelyn. Come on now.
I just love hearing people's opinions on it and how it goes. But thank you for that, guys. We're going to keep it moving here. I want to acknowledge Homicide won his retirement match. He wrestled a tag team match, man. Mike Santana did a tribute to him. Homicide is one of the legends, whether you're a TNA fan, independent wrestling fan, Ring of Honor, him and Bryan Danielson. That's a classic championship match in Ring of Honor history. I wanted to show Homicide some love, man. I know that you probably have seen him at shows or something, Sean, out where you are. So
I've seen him live at House of Glory. I've covered him. I've interviewed him. And I have so much respect for him. And one of my favorite, and I mean favorite acts in TNA wrestling was LAX. I love them. I love them so much. The incarnation of LAX that had Homicide, Hernandez, and Selena. Oh my God. I mean, I love them. They brought hip hop. They brought swagger. Multiple time TNA tag team champions. Nothing but respect for that dude.
Yeah. Totally, man. And for those who don't know, I believe he posted this, so I feel like I'm okay saying this, but it was due to a cyst on his body. You could look up where it is and all that. I don't want to get super deep into it, but it sucks when you don't get to step away on the terms you want to. But mad love to Homicide and
I'll just add a little bit of sauce to that and say that Homicide is one of those guys that would have went forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like Kingston, there's no giving up in those guys, and I know Eddie Kingston will show him some love and acknowledge him. Chill, E. Billy Gunn, Billy Gunn's going to be in 2K25. Imagine that. He didn't stop him from doing that, huh? Said Malachi on his first day back at WWE. You guys are messed up. Send good vibes to Homicide. Absolutely. The Truth was his theme, and ROH was a banger. Yeah, shout out to Beanie Siegel as well. Homicide, true New York City wrestling legend. When you watch Homicide, you know if you got on his bad side, it'd be a war. Look at the ROH feuds. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well said. Going through these really quick, Sean Waltman working with WWE again, according to Wrestling Observer. I like it. I think Waltman deserves it. I've been waiting for a 1, 2, 3 kid spot in like the Royal Rumble one time if he could still do it, or X-Pac or something. But we haven't seen it.
I'm saying this with love, Conrad. Keep this man busy. Mm-hmm. Keep this man in the fold. Keep this man in the family. Keep this man under the family umbrella. I love it.
Yeah.
For more reasons than one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Also, Mark Henry has signed a WWE Legends contract. Sean, let's show him our shocked face. Yeah, we're so surprised that Mark Henry got a Legends contract.
Mark Henry is doing more shucking and jiving than a 1950s tap dancer. My God. You talk about selling. Oh, man.
I won't go that route. You know what I'll say? Mark, I hope you're happy. Ray Phoenix is joining the Dynasty. He will be part of Rock Nation very soon. Yes, that is Ray Phoenix throwing up the diamond right there for you. But yes, another teaser aired on SmackDown. Rumor has it that he has signed with WWE, according to Fightful Select. So, yippee-ki-yay. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
And another mystery vignette aired on SmackDown for 4. We just saw it again on Raw and Netflix if you were watching. So, yeah. I don't know if you want to add any other sauce or if we can get into the...
I got nothing.
All right, listen. We're going to get into the juicy topics now. We could talk Cena from last week, and I guess we can mention what happened on today's show as well. But John Cena, man.
Might as well.
He's a heel. John Cena. The man is miserable.
Good.
He is cooked, man. So we mentioned last week kind of what happened in his promo. Sean, how do you feel about it, looking at it, I guess, per se now? What are your thoughts on this whole John Cena and Cody feud and what happened here? Because I was personally disappointed. So you had the You People promo. John Cena cutting it is fine because it made sense for him, especially. Like, I've had it with you. And his promo was, we're not going to give you what you want. I'm not changing my theme. I'm wearing the jorts. I get it. So I'm like, okay, that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do. My issue is more with Cody. Why didn't Cody beat this man up? We love NWA wrestling. We talk about the psychology in pro wrestling. If this man did this to you at the pay-per-view Elimination Chamber, Sean, would you not come out and want to fight him? I'm not talking, bro. I'm fighting you.
I keep telling you, Cody. And I'm gonna rephrase something I've been saying for a while. I've been saying Cody's corny. But you know what? I have to give Cody more credit than this, and I'm gonna revamp what I've had to say. Are you ready? I'm gonna change it up. Cody has been booked corny, and I don't like it, and it needs to change because every week he comes out and he makes this angry face, and he puts the title in the air, and he says, "If you want some, come get some," which to me is nothing more than gimmick infringement. He gets cornier and right. Next thing he's gonna say is just bring it. If you smell when Cody Rhodes is cooking, he needs to do better because this has been weak so far, man. John Cena's killing him, similar to the way that Charlotte killed Tiffany Stratton.
I do have that up for us to discuss because I knew you would want to say something about that.
Oh, yes.
Man, dude. Yes. Shout out to Chris Bay.
Yeah,
yes. Thank you, T-Ferg. Shout out to T-Ferg for that reminder. Chris Bay had a show dedicated to him. Hopefully he got some of the proceeds for it. Much love to Chris Bay. I'm happy to see the brother is out, moving, walking.
People don't realize he was really hurt.
No, really hurt. Did you see? He's walking and moving.
Yeah,
but he ain't moving like he was. So he's still on the mend. But you know what? I'm happy for him. And the brother's walking around and he's giving his story, his testimony about life and how he feels and how grateful he is. And he's out there crying. So you know what, man? Love to the homie Chris Bay, man.
Amen, brother.
They doing too much talking for me. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen with this, man. Like with the whole John Cena thing, like they're gonna be out here talking, doing their thing. But you know what? Cena's heel work, I'll give him credit. I think he did a good job with it. I felt bad for that little kid, man. He got poo-pooed on.
I'm almost 95. I have no confirmation. I'm almost 95% certain that kid was brought to the back and got some WWE merchandise and Cena hugged him or something, because that was brutal.
Yes. And his face went up all over this week, and just crazy. The kids in both companies, man, they've been eating a lot of L's this week, man, arguing with wrestlers. Actually, some of them got some W's out of it. But you know what? It's probably a cool moment though if you're a wrestling fan. Like, embrace it and just know, like, man, it's cool. I was the kid that got yelled at the one time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so they're out here. Excitement level for this match, Sean, like 1 through 10, man. Like, where are you at with this? Because they kind of did the same thing again this week, and Cena like backed away, he cowered away. For those who haven't seen the episode today, spoiler noises somewhere.
Cena's owning this dude, man. How about Cena's owning this kid, and it's getting ridiculous at this point. Cena, but you know what the thing is? I do my homework. Cena's not going to be on Raw the 3 weeks before WrestleMania. So Cody's going to have all the time in the world to badmouth him, with Cena not being there. But Cena, face-to-face, Cena's cooking this kid. Absolutely cooking this kid. And they better make it better, because honestly, to me, because this is how you end up winning main events at WrestleMania and getting booed. Because at this point, I think that Cody's going to win. We'll get more into, predictions as we get closer to WrestleMania, but I think at this stage, Cody's going to win and probably be resented for it.
Really? I don't know what they're going to do here, because spoiler alert, again, if you don't want to know everything Cena said, this is your moment to hold off on us. But it was funny that Cena basically said he wants to go out as the forever champ. I feel like if he wins, he's going to bring back the spinner belt.
I think he should. I think he'll say, I haven't liked John Cena in 25 years. I love this guy. The last 2 weeks, John Cena has made me a believer.
I'm still on my I don't know tip with him. I have had a hard time with him since I told you a long time ago.
He's a culture vulture. Yes.
Yeah, when he shred the hip hop gimmick, that's when I shred him, and I was like, yeah, you're done to me, bro. Goodbye.
And that's the reason why I don't like him either. But what I'm trying to say is, despite that, heel Cena is cooking this guy. Cooking. Like, Cody, to me,
Cody's protected, though. Cody is protected in this, because I've seen some other people get cooked way worse. There's no, like... Cody's got enough to at least bop back a little bit. Mm-hmm. Other people I've seen, like, you remember that time with Roman, annihilated, bro.
Oh, sure. He did.
Yeah, but Cody's smart enough to know he doesn't have to stick to the script. This is going to come back up again in another thing that we're going to talk about that you just mentioned. But yes, sometimes people don't know, can I stick to the script? When should I go off script? When can I add a little me into this? Yeah. But yeah. Terrell's in here saying I still have Cody winning and Rock versus Cody at Backlash. I don't know.
I hear your T3Z, but I don't know about that.
Rock ain't coming back for no match in St. Louis. I thought Cena heel turn was going to be industry changing.
It was. It just hasn't been that since after, like in the aftermath. It's been a little,
I think me and Sean have done a good job with this. It was, but sometimes things lately have been getting very gassed up. We'll say. Y'all were trying to compare this to Hogan. I'm like, I don't think you understand the magnitude of what happened with Hulk Hogan. There was a granny on Nitro trying to punch this man. She was so mad at him because back then people believed, bro. Like, people believed. And I loved it. I was like, yes, the heat was dude. I know they probably instructed people to throw trash and all that stuff, but once people were mad, man, people, you're bleeding. You're bleeding. Like, people, they thought this dude was everything. Like, eat your vitamins, dude. Say your prayers, man. Like, they believed in that guy, and he poo-pooed all over them by leg dropping the Macho Man and messing him and Sting up. Like, he turned his back on WCW, the company that gave you your second career, rising, and he did that. So something completely different.
It's not even close. The Cena turn. I predicted to see the turn. So how shocking could it have been?
Touche.
I mean, right? Am I right or am I? Did I not predict it?
But what did we say would be more shocking? Cody's like, you know what, Rock, I'm with you, brother. Oh, that would have been more shocking, but
right. I was like, Cena's gonna turn heel, and I said it kind of tongue in cheek, but I was like,
listen, I thought it was Punk. You called it better than me. I thought Punk, because I thought they wanted to sell those shirts.
My whole logic was, bro, he's on his way out. He don't have to worry about Make-A-Wish no more. It's over. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, since that happened, the story is kind of getting cooked, bro. Like, it's kind of borderline, like, it's almost cooked already. It's like, okay, the initial shock has worn off, and the first 2 promos have been kind of like, so it's like, do we even care anymore?
Yes. Touche. McKinney brings up a good point, man. Until Cena beats down R-Truth, I'm not too invested.
Yo, I love what McKinney's saying, and I don't know if he meant R-Truth literally or R-Truth as like a figurative person, but he needs to beat up R-Truth. I agree with you, McKinney. Somebody in that ballpark. He needs to like beat the crap out of Tozawa. He needs to do something really, really, really like disgusting to someone.
Right? Jocelyn said, do you believe in John Cena? Some
Why
do.
is Blade Gratz calling me Chubbs? Like, I need to understand. Is this a joke? If it's a joke, tell me it's a joke. I have no problem with jokes.
No, I think it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to say Hubs.
I wouldn't be offended. Like, you know, I'm like, what's going on here?
I'll give him a second to respond. I don't know.
Oh, it's fine. I don't care.
John Cena makes little kids cry while Chris Jericho has little kids cussing him out and calling him fat. I did see that kid doing that. Yo, by the way, that kid definitely owned Jericho. I don't know if you guys saw the exclusive clip where he was like, I have abs. Where's your abs? The kid lifts up his shirt and he had abs. And I was like, yo.
That kid was gangster.
Yeah. Getting cussed out by a kid is just, what are we doing here? Guy Will Gamble said the storytelling leading up to the Hogan heel turn, even before the NWO story started, that was a freight train coming. Yeah. And I think Sean said something about this a couple weeks ago. Like, they just didn't know when to stop. Like, once you had like 6, I think I said ended at Conan. Like, if you had the giant Conan 6, Hall, Nash, like the cool people in the group, right before we get to like Buff Bagwell and all them, then I'm like, all right, some of you could stay, some of you got to go. Scott Steiner fit though, but there were people that was like, you didn't need to be in there.
Delayed grats. I was just playing with you, bro. It's all good. All jokes, man. I'm having fun with it. I was just playing. I was like, if I'm Chubbs, I'll be Chubbs. It's all good, delayed grats. You're good with me, brother. Yeah, I just think it's kind of cooked at this point.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I'm still kind of invested in it. I'm curious to see what happens with it. I won't poo-poo on it all the way.
Cena needs to do something heelish. Cena needs to beat somebody up.
Terrell says 3 things that crossed over to the mainstream media: Hogan's leg drop, birth of the NWO, Stone Cold and Tyson fight, and Stone Cold getting run over were all huge over the mass media. I don't remember Stone Cold getting ran over. That was a good storyline, but I don't remember it being all over the media. At least the one I'm thinking of is the Rock one.
Yeah, Stone Cold didn't. The Stone Cold getting run over in the parking lot thing didn't make it to mainstream, but it was still good for the business. But the problem is they didn't know how to pay it off, and then it became Rikishi, and then it wasn't just Rikishi, it was Triple H, and it was like,
That's what happens when you write the story before you have the ending.
You never know. It could have been The Rock, and then maybe they were like, no, The Rock is too over. We can't turn him heel again.
Right. And Triple H is too obvious.
Yep.
That's what I think it came down to. And then eventually they just put the heat on Triple H anyway.
Yep.
Cena's story cooked up in 2 weeks. Maybe it'll be a bigger deal in Mania. Shout out to my guy, Delayed Gratz, who's here. He said, I agree with McKinney. I'm not too invested in Cena's arc. It's good, but Cena Cody is just Peacemaker versus Homelander to me. I understand that.
Not bad. I understand him completely.
Ray I think it's been better without The Rock. I think him and Cody have delivered on the mic to the point to where they could have left Rock out of it. But then why did you do the stuff with The Rock and Travis Scott?
I agree.
I don't think we're wrong to question that too. You know, like it's just questionable, some of the stuff.
It's like muffled at this point.
Yeah, T Ferg said Hubs did call it. I thought for a minute Hubs and Hunter were secretly working together. Let me find out Sean's been in those rooms.
I was just remembering. I remember we were on our show, bro. Shout out to T Ferg. I appreciate you. We were on our show. We were talking about, is Cody going to sell out? And we all pretty much agreed, no, he's not. And I was like, John Cena will probably turn heel. It was just kind of like, I think I did. Correct me if I'm wrong, Conrad. I did give that analogy of like, he don't have no more Make-A-Wishes to do.
Yeah.
There's no more T-shirts to sell. It's over. Why not do it now?
I just thought they had like those separate shirts for everywhere he was going. Yeah. I'm like, you wanted
to
sell
these. They're probably still selling off the shelves.
I just don't get it. And McKinney, I think, with the best point so far in a lot of this is R-Truth is the character. He's a representation of what Cena is trying not to be anymore. Destroy Truth, even if it's a video of him laid out with all of his gear torn up. I think they should.
I love it. I mean, R-Truth. I'm going to agree with you, but I'm also going to say it could be other people. R-Truth, the Alpha Academy. Yeah, somebody like that, and just beat the crap out of them. Give me something to make me more, because honestly, John Cena just saying, you fans never appreciated me. You know what this sounds like to me, Conrad? It sounds a lot like The Rock's a lot of things, but sucks isn't one of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I think it's him getting finally to say something to his critics, but he's got to put his fans down at the same time. But he's like, no, this is for all of you who said I suck. Now you want to cheer me. I don't want your cheers now. Right. I don't care about you. And I was like, oh, okay. I can get with that. I'm going to get Sean hyped up here for a second, guys. Sean, I know he's been waiting to talk about it. We're waiting until we get a little deeper in, but I have to bring up something from last week.
Wait until we get a little deeper in. That's what she said.
Play. Jey Uso. He had a match where he got a 1-minute win over Austin Theory. By the way, one day we have to talk about Austin Theory's fall from grace. Opening up WrestleMania against John Cena 2 years ago to you're losing to Jey Uso, brother, tonight, and you're taking the pin quick. This got a lot of dislikes with Jey Uso. How are you feeling as a Jey Uso fan with the booking of Jey Uso? Because I'm in the middle, I've told you. Like, I hear people making points like, dude, we have Punk, Roman, Seth. They're not doing nothing. Blah, blah, blah. It could have been them in the spot. But also, you have brought up the points of, but look at Jey Uso's reaction. He has sold the shirts. He did everything that you guys say. This is what you need to do. Check, 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 check. And we're in the midst of this, and I feel like him and Gunther, they need something to heat them up. And let's remember, there's still time ahead. I know you brought up with Cena. He's going to be gone for 3 of the weeks. But there's still time ahead of this one. And I think tonight they took steps towards Jimmy, spoiler alert again if you don't want to hear what happened on Raw, Jimmy saying, yo, you can't be like this, bro. You gotta hold it down. You gotta do your thing. So I'm interested to hear what you think of this.
I am no longer a Jey Uso fan. I am a Jey Uso advocate. And I mean that seriously. Let me tell you something, Conrad. I have never seen, and this is not me, it's not Hubbs the character, it's not heel Hubbs. This is Sean Hubbard just keeping it real with you guys. Chat, if you agree, cool. If you don't, cool. Conrad, if you agree, cool. If you don't agree, cool. I have never in my life seen or heard more hypocrisy than I've heard as it relates to Jey Uso. The story has been told over the past 2.5 years, and that's giving a lot of credit to Triple H, probably credit that he doesn't deserve. But I'm going to say, to give the benefit of the doubt, that this story has been 2 years in the making. I don't give a damn what anybody has to say. Jey Uso deserved to win the Royal Rumble. And the fact that this man has been ridiculed for botching a move last week and ridiculed and talked about low-key like a dog. And I'm being dead serious. Some of these comments about Jey Uso are disgusting. Talking about his family, his character. And when I mean character, I don't mean wrestling character. I'm talking about him as a man. It's absolutely disgusting. Let me lay it out on the line as plain and simple as I can. If I were to tell you that Jey Uso is a 5-star, top-tier, in-ring talent, I would be incorrect. He is not a 5-star, top-tier, in-ring talent. But neither is John Cena. Neither was Stone Cold. Yeah, oh, did I say what I think I just said? Neither was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Neither was Hulk Hogan. Am I putting Jey Uso in the same ilk? In the same light as Hogan and Cena? And by the way, Stone Cold, yes. Stunning Steve, no. Stunning Steve, no. Or yes, I should say. You got me all messed up, Conrad. Stunning Steve was a technician. Stone Cold was about 5 or 6 moves. Jey Uso is selling merch off the shelves like nobody's business. Jey Uso gets crowd reactions that are unlike I've ever seen. And you're talking about, and I'm talking about real comments I've seen, you're saying that Jey Uso doesn't even deserve to be on WrestleMania? You're saying that Jey Uso is all where he is now because of his family? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Let that man live, bro. Because, and people want to be mad because he squashed Austin Theory. Why is it okay for Gunther to squash someone, but it's not okay for Jey Uso? Why is it okay for Brock Lesnar to squash someone? Why is it okay for Roman Reigns to squash someone? Why is it okay for anybody to squash someone? But Jey Uso does it, and it's out of place. It's disrespectful to the business. Give me a freaking break. Why is it okay for Charlotte Flair to come back straight from rehab? Physical therapy for her leg, by the way, not any other rehab. Come in and win the Royal Rumble, but it's not okay for Jey Uso? Again, not being a Jey Uso fan, being a Jey Uso advocate. The heat and disrespect this kid has gotten is disgusting to me. And they are really attacking this guy. Really attacking him. I just want the brother to get to WrestleMania. I want him to win because he deserves to have a world title on his resume. And after that, I'm done. I have created the Jey Uso bandwagon to see that this man becomes the world champion because he deserves to be world champion. And anybody, as we bring Conrad back, anybody who says any different is a hater. Plain and simple. And Conrad, you tell me what I said that was lies.
Listen, I think both sides of that argument will make great points on both sides of it. But at the end of the day, they made their choice, and that's what they're going to do. You know, like, you can't. Did he check all the boxes that people said that you need to check to be a star, to do this, to win the Royal Rumble, to make? He did it. I'm just saying, like, people can be mad, like, but he did it. But I also see people saying, like, oh, well, we could have did this instead. I don't think all of it's just pure I hate Jey Uso. Maybe they feel like he shouldn't be in the WrestleMania spot, whatever. But he's in the spot. That we're gonna have to go with what we have at this point with Jey Uso. The question I had for you though too is in short sentences here, Sean. Do you feel he has been booked properly in this? Because I'm gonna go through what everyone else is saying in here.
But, since winning the Royal Rumble, he has not been booked properly. No.
Okay, where do you think his match ends up on the card? Is it the opener?
It should be last, but it'll probably open.
That's probably the best spot for it. If it's in the middle of the card, what are we doing? But
I don't mind if it's the co-main event. I don't mind if it's second to last before Roman, Seth, and CM Punk. It should be. I'm standing on business. It still should be last.
I don't. You know, we've never liked that whole Royal Rumble thing either, though.
Right.
You know, WrestleMania 27. See that. Matt says, I have this feeling that Gunther versus Jey Uso is going to open night one of Mania because the idea of him main eventing Mania night one is gone thanks to that triple threat. I mean, don't blame the triple threat either. Like, the power is the power of the names, but at the same token, you could make it happen. I do remember a WrestleMania where we were like, Hogan, Rock, nah, we don't got to do that. But maybe they've learned their mistake from that. I don't know. It took them a few times, I think, too, to learn from that.
You know what? You guys are going to think I'm crazy. You guys, and you're probably going to think I'm crazy, Conrad. I think the triple threat should open WrestleMania.
You could.
I know nobody's going to go for that, but I think that Roman, Seth, and CM Punk should open WrestleMania. And I think that CM Punk should have the favor be where he gets added to this Cena versus Cody Rhodes match.
And that could happen. And if they open up, I'd lean more towards that possibly happening. McKinney says the build for Jey versus Gunther is on a low simmer. This needs to be at a boiling point because I'm just watching it. It's not captivating me to want to see this match over the other matches. And he kind of just gives the shrug. The hypocrisy of Jey Uso is wild since the Royal Rumble not warrant why there is hate where he should have gotten the title win at SummerSlam 2023. Guy Will Gamble says they're booking the story kind of strange to me, mostly because it's always telling who gets booked strong and weak as challenger heading into Mania. I had mentioned Stunning Steve Austin. Delayed Grat says stay off of X. It's a cesspool. It's a collection of angry boys and bots.
He's right.
Gabe says Jey Uso is a kid's attraction. I've never seen him yeet in the crowd with an adult, only children. I see people out there rocking, though.
There's everybody's yeeting, Gabe, but I think he's pulling out kids out of the crowd because why would he want to yeet with a grown man?
Yeah, I mean, and it's also what the company does. That's their MO. Like, get the kids to cheer for you. Jey Uso is a good talent, and he's a fine character. I'm not as high on him as you are, Hubs, but he's super over. So give him the title, yeah.
See, that right there, Delayed Grats, that is a legitimate, fair opinion. That man, can you go back to that comment, please, Conrad? That man just said, hey, Hubs, I don't see what you see in Jey Uso. I don't feel Jey Uso the way you feel Jey Uso. But you know what? I recognize the facts. I recognize what's in front of my face. I recognize that every time he enters an arena, the roof blows off. I recognize that I see Yeet signs. I recognize that I see everybody wearing Yeet and Jey Uso t-shirts. So you know what? He deserves it. Thank you, Delayed Grats, for your opinion and your fairness, which is unlike what I see on other areas of social media where people are saying Jey Uso doesn't deserve to be in this spot because all he does is do super kicks. Shut up.
Yeah, a lot of people are, like I said, I think it's a really divided opinion on what's
It's not a divided opinion. It's not a divided opinion. It's more in the favor of Jey Uso not being in the spot he's in. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Well, maybe it's you and Matt Lopez who have brought the Jey Uso fans to my timeline. But from when I see like people talking, I do see people saying like, no, he deserves it. Like I see people get into the back and forth.
On Twitter and YouTube, it's been disgusting.
Well, the dislikes I just showed up on the screen before, that was crazy to me. I was like, what did he do?
Not even Derek comes out like that. Okay, you know what? Derek says he doesn't see it. He doesn't think he's believable as a singles champion. What about him squashing Austin Theory is a problem? If you don't think, I'm using Derek as an example, if you don't think that Jey Uso deserves to be world heavyweight champion, I can respect that. But people coming out in droves to say that they dislike the fact that Jey Uso squashed Austin Theory, what is your issue?
And listen, let's not pretend we care about Austin Theory now.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my. Since when did we all get on the Austin Theory bandwagon?
I don't think anyone is though either, Sean. Let me say this to be fair.
Oh my God, I'm gonna take a second to calm down.
I don't think people are on the Austin Theory bandwagon because I personally think this man's been wronged. Personally,
I know. It took me a little time to see where I was coming from, but
no. But I'm just like, what did Austin Theory do to lose his push? What did he do? Was this tag team supposed to help him, or are you just trying to tell? And listen, if he doesn't have a match at Mania, I get it, bro. I get it, but Triple H has to be careful with what he's doing with Jey Uso, LA Knight, Priest, and several of these other guys because they don't have a long window. And if you mess them up, they're not going to be in that spot. These guys are all older. They're, mid to late 30s, maybe early 40s. You got to keep these guys hot because I see a bunch of people bringing up others. But I want to continue on. I like what people are saying.
And I want to say one more thing, Conrad, and I want you to take your reins. And is it just me? Take Matt's Emily's. I appreciate you. We're going to pull you right back up. We're talking a lot about Jey Uso losing steam. Is it just me, or is Gunther not as entertaining as I thought he was?
Ooh, this goes back to my point, though, again.
I mean, we're talking about Jey Uso, right? Like, all right.
Come and take a walk with me. Let's go back to that Night of Champions at Crown Jewel. What did his booking tell you?
There you go.
Who's the better champ? Cody's the better champ. Sorry, brother. And ever since that moment, Gunther has felt, you're all right.
Nah, exactly. Matt. So it's like, and I got to give you credit because you're the first one to call that out when he lost to Cody in Saudi Arabia. So it's like, all right. Well, Jey Uso's not cooking. Well, neither is Gunther. If that's the case, if we're gonna say Jey Uso slipping, Gunther is not blowing anybody's doors off.
I think they need something more for the story, Sean, and what they're going to do. Someone mentions it in here. I'm going to read it in 1 second.
Yeah, go, bro.
You got to use Jimmy Uso. So, listen, we could have Jimmy Uso going up against Nakamura, but they gave the belt to LA Knight, so I feel like that's not possibly going to happen, maybe. I don't know. But you could have Jimmy Uso with his brother, but Jimmy's going to have to be the sacrificial lamb. You will be part of the story in helping your brother get over. And I think that's the better role for him than saying, like, let's throw the U.S. title on Big Jim. No, don't do that. This is Jay's moment. Have Jimmy help make Jay's moment.
I just had visions of Jay and Jimmy holding both their titles up together, celebrating.
And you could have done that. No, you could have done that too. That would have been perfectly fine. That's where I thought they were going. But now at this point, I'm hearing about Braun Strowman. Don't get me started on some of the lower to mid card. Like, I see him in the mix, like, yeah, I want a U.S. championship match. And I'm like, no. But the visual of the stadium and people yeeting with Jey Uso as world champion would be an amazing visual. I think you will get that, though.
Let me say this, Conrad. Let me say this. For all the stuff I've talked about WWE, chat, let me know if the answer is yes or no, according to whether or not you saw Raw tonight. If you haven't, you can't really say anything. But if you have, I want you to fill me on this. WWE is making the best out of the botch from Jey Uso last week. I have to give them credit. They had Jey Uso slip and fall when he was trying to deliver the spear. That is a play directly on what happened last week with the botched swan dive. I like that. I think that's for people like me and Quills and Guy Will Gamble who give WWE a hard time, and rightfully so, Conrad. I have to say WWE did the right thing in this case by having Jey Uso slip and fall when he was about to deliver the spear and botch the spear the way he botched the swan dive last week. I like that. Do you like that?
I don't know if it was on purpose. I'm wondering.
Today was on purpose.
No, today. But I don't know if last week's was on purpose.
Last week was not on purpose. That's what I'm saying.
But they're going to use it as part of the.
Yes, I'm saying
confidence.
they're making the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
Last week was definitely not on purpose. Tonight was on purpose.
Yeah. Delayed Grant's coming in with a hot take. There was a time where you could have had LA Knight in the world title scene and WWE botched it. Yes, because they had LA Knight lose to Roman Reigns.
And Saudi Arabia for no reason.
WWE needs to get this right with Jey Uso because he's hotter than LA Knight was. I will agree with that as well now. I do think Jey Uso's got more steam. And he lost too, but he kept his. I don't know. Until Jimmy Uso comes up, mangled mess at the hands of Gunther, ruining his WrestleMania dream, that would raise the temperature of Jey and fire him up to get the storyline some hot sauce.
McKinney,
on point again.
My OG, McKinney, just like your nuggets of wisdom you dropped me on Instagram. I love that. That sounds like a good idea.
Jey Uso's in the top merch sellers on WWE Shop. I believe it. Pro Wrestler Shoot, Jesse coming in says, Gunther is the best storyteller in WWE has. What do you mean? He's the best in-ring storyteller.
Is the best storyteller in WWE? I don't know about that.
I'll right now, Jesse. I think we're just talking about WrestleMania season right now.
We're talking
right
about
now.
This booking since WrestleMania season has come to fruition.
Who's at the top right now for WrestleMania season for the story? Is it? I'd probably say Cody Cena by default, by just how much magnitude's behind it, and then underneath that's probably the triple threat.
Mm-hmm. Which is sad. Which is the reason why Jay's probably not going to have his chance to main event night one.
And this is why we're all kind of feeling this way about it too. I think Gunther's a great in-ring storyteller, but I don't know if that's shown as much to the fans. I don't know if they appreciate it as much as we do.
Take a freaking stand, Triple H. When I, rightfully so, called you out for being the most blockheaded, closed-minded booker of all time, take a freaking stand and double down on your decision to let Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble. Make Jey Uso and Gunther the main event of night one, damn it. Do it. Don't let these freaking knuckleheads change your mind. You never let the knuckleheads change your mind any other time.
Wait a minute here.
Conrad, help me out here.
Oh no, I'm me and Jesse are arguing here.
No, according to what I just said.
What do you want? What do you want Triple H to do?
Make it the main event. Stick to and I made a point. Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. That made you make the decision to shock the world and have Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble. Stick to your guns.
And I'll say this to be fair to Triple H too, though. Jay's got to deliver.
Jey has to deliver. This is Jay's last opportunity to be somebody.
Turn them caps locks off, player.
Yeah. You heard me, Conrad? That's the most sobering thing I think I've said all night. This is probably the most sobering thing I've said in months.
He can't have that WrestleMania 40 match again on that night. With
Conrad, I'm gonna say something to you right now, Conrad, that I don't think I've ever said before. And this shows you how real I'm being and how I'm not being a fan. I'm being an analyst. Jey Uso has to deliver this time, because if he doesn't, it's over. If he doesn't want to just be one half of the Usos and a member of the bloodline, he has to deliver at WrestleMania. And I'm talking about a 5-star classic.
So you're telling the truth, though. I will say, you can't say you're being biased. So hold on, I have to read this in the voice Jesse wanted. Once again, I'm telling everyone this. Sarcasm does not translate well in text and over the internet and on message boards and in Discords. You got to let me know if you're being sarcastic, because I can't see that. Gunther is the best storyteller WWE has. What do you mean? And then he said, I said it from day one. Gunther getting the title when he did was a bad move, period. And I will give Jesse his credit. I will tip the cap. He always did say that. And he's using that for his lap.
That comment, shout out to Jesse, that comment about Gunther should have never got the title. That means that what he said previously, he was being funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know you were being funny.
See, sarcasm doesn't. We're reading serious comments. Then all of a sudden we got a joke one here.
I thought he was being serious.
See, we knew Quill's right here. That's a good like when it's in caps. I was like, okay, I get that one. But sometimes it doesn't read well. But Jesse, I will give him credit though. He has said that he thought that was not the right time for Gunther to win. I do like someone said Rocky 3, who was a clown. Jimmy is Apollo. He has to get beat down by Gunther so Jake could have the courage to be Rocky. I agree. And I think what Sean said is very true. You can't go out there. You can't lay a stinker. Let's move forward, though, because we'll be here all night, and we got weeks to pile this on and get into it and get deep.
Oh, my. Oh, God. Oh,
woo!
Oh,
I watched this promo on SmackDown, these 3-hour SmackDowns. I watched them with tears in my eyes because they are bad. SmackDown is the worst show that they have. I'm sorry to say it. When you have to call up CM Punk and Seth Rollins to come on down to the show to come save this, you know this is they're in trouble here. Charlotte and Tiffany, bro. Remember how we just mentioned knowing the right time to say something? Charlotte Flair ate Tiffany Stratton up, and I felt like Tiffany didn't know if she should stay on the script, go off the script. She wasn't ready for it, and Charlotte started laying into her. You're only champion because you had Money in the Bank. I mean, hypocritical for Charlotte to kind of say it too when she's got Charlotte in the bank, but she comes back and says you're only champion because you won Money in the Bank. She didn't have any clapbacks for anything Charlotte was saying. I felt bad for Tiffany Stratton. It reminded me of the Roman Reigns thing. Suffering, succotash, and you're in there with John Cena and you have nothing else to say. Like, you cannot have people just cut you down like that. But she still got time, I think. I still think there's time for her to come back, but she's got to do it. What are you looking for, Sean? What are you doing?
Got some carrots over here. Got some celery. Got my beef broth going. Put it all together. You know why? Because Charlotte cooked that girl. Charlotte cooked her like she was stovetop stuffing.
Pepper.
Bruh.
Salt.
Charlotte, and you know how critical I am of Charlotte. Charlotte cooked Tiffany Stratton. That wasn't even close.
That was BTA, man. That was belts to behinds, or you know what I mean? She came out like, yo.
Tiffany Stratton took a big step back last Friday night. That was bad.
I don't think it was a step back. I think she stepped up, but she wasn't ready for what you stepped into.
Charlotte chewed her up and spit her out.
You got to remember, Charlotte's a shark, man. She does not care. Like, I listen, me and you give her enough grief to last a lifetime.
Yeah.
But she showed she's an ace, bro.
They should have sat down and just, I know Charlotte behind the scenes, like we're all grown people that know wrestling is predetermined. They should have had a conversation about this, man.
But I think Charlotte got fired up, and she can get away with, I can say what I want, right?
Got fired up about what? Oh, so you think there's some real life heat about Tiffany?
No. But I think doing the promos, you get fired up sometimes. You know who could talk back? Becky Lynch could talk back, but and I think with them it might get heated and personal because they're going to start trading barbs back and forth about each other.
The thing that makes me mad, Conrad, and correct me if I'm wrong, and also reel me in if I'm wrong because maybe this is too far to go. But the obvious thing, the elephant in the room was that you could have talked about her age and how she's always taking people's spots and how she came back and won the Royal. Like, you could have gone so many different places.
But what do you do in today's WWE though, Sean? Read this. Read the paper.
Right.
If that's what you're used to, you don't know what to do when someone is cooking you like that, and you're like, I wasn't ready for this. You got to be able to, like John Cena said, I see the look in your eyes, kid. You ain't ready for this. You ain't ready for this. What do you say to that? Like,
you say, you know what? And obviously hindsight being 2020, I am ready for this. You know what you're not ready for? For somebody that's younger, prettier, and more athletic to take your place.
You got to be thinking on your toes for it. And I hope that this gives
right there would have saved the whole segment. She said, well, this is what you do. You throw water on things that are hot. What's hot? You have to be more specific. Go in like that was a disgrace, bro. That was a disgrace. Yo, Tiffany got cooked.
Bad.
I was watching my TV. Yo, I was watching with my girl. My girl's not even a wrestling fan. She was like, yo, it looked like that was kind of a one-sided. I'm like, yeah, it was. It was one-sided.
Oh, yeah. No, it was yeah, she got spanked. I'm not gonna lie.
Woo.
McKinney says night one was 60K yeeting. I don't know if they did they sell 60K tickets?
I think 60K is what they're gonna have. By the way, McKinney is the most hardest dude when it comes to like agreeing with me. But I think McKinney wants to see my boy Jey Uso win too, man. I appreciate you, McKinney.
I think so. And Jesse provides some logic too with Terrell's up here bringing up that he should have the Rocky 4 3-hour slot is hurting SmackDown. That's a fact. Jesse says, wait, so y'all don't think Jay's winning night one? Man, you can't give Punk the main event and not have the title on the line because that's Punk's story.
Yeah, I agree, but I think maybe it might have been part of Punk's contract to be a main event.
But you know what I think though, Sean? I do like the end of the night going off the air with Jey Uso, the happy moment, and it's like be back tomorrow, and all you see are people just doing the yeet, and it's like come back tomorrow. It's a hot moment. We got a new champ tonight. Will we leave with one more tomorrow? Are you doing the?
It's a no-brainer to me. But you know what? I'm really
we got to clip CM Punk saying you do your bull every week.
but I'm really concerned right now, Conrad. I think Jay and Gunther are not gonna. I think they're gonna main event that triple threat match.
I don't know, Jesse. I like Jesse's point.
I love Jesse's point, but I'm still concerned.
Sean, why would you give that match the main event slot and undercut a whole storyline that you could have for next year? Why do that? I guess I'm trying to talk you into it now. Why do that?
I think that we all need to take a deep breath and realize that before Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, that we all thought that Triple H was a big blockhead who never changes his mind. We need to kind of reel ourselves back in and realize maybe that was one moment in time, and maybe he's back on okay, we got to get back to our regularly scheduled programming. Say, CM Punk, we know you promised you a main event, so there you go.
Right? Hey, yo, delay grants. Gotta chill, bro. Gotta chill.
I mean, I'm serious, though. Like, I want you guys to think about that in the chat, too, bro. Yeah. Like, before Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, Triple H never did stuff like this.
Definitely different. Quill says that he thought the promo with Charlotte Tiffany was straight cringe. Matt says this is garbage. The Women's Championship program is trash compared to the EO Bailey storyline. This is garbage. So he is done with it. As much as I'm not a fan of Charlotte Fairflan at all, I can acknowledge that she's good. She's cooked Tiffany. Then you won via cash-in was the line. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. That was rough.
Yeah, Tiffany as a babyface is the issue. They need to let her be that Tiffany in NXT. But she's a babyface now too. Valley Girl, I don't know what you want to call her character, but like, you know, Valley Girl, that ain't going to work. You got to be a superstar here. You got to, you know, exude it all and show what you can do. I think she's athletic. She's got the in-ring part down. I think she's got the character. Who are you? Who is Tiffany Stratton?
I thought she may have been starting to turn the corner in a good way with that brawl that took place 2 weeks ago, where she did the moonsault off the Tron. I was like, okay, here we're cooking now. But that promo just set me back, bro.
Yeah. I feel like we don't have to go super deep into it. I was going to bring up the Punk stuff, but it looks like we're probably getting 2 triple threats. We could save Bianca and them for another time. I'm sure we'll talk about them. How'd you feel about the whole pointing to the WrestleMania sign and, you know, they made the match official?
Corny.
I
was totally unnecessary.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I wasn't feeling the promos tonight either.
Neither was I.
And Sean, who are you talking to? Who's the biggest CM Punk fan you know? I'm like,
It was kind of like, I don't know. It was kind of yeah.
But this is the argument I said that I know there are Punk, Roman, Seth fans who are making the argument over why are they doing this and they could be doing that with Gunther, right. And I'm like, I know, guys, but that's the choice has been made. Like,
I think this is the last chance for the Jey Uso Gunther storyline as it relates to the comparison between the triple threat. Like Gunther, as much as I love Jimmy, shout out to Jimmy, he's gonna have to beat the crap out of Jimmy, and it's gonna have to, like McKinney was saying, it's gonna have to fire up Jey to do something crazy. I need Jey to beat the snot out of him with a steel chair. I need him to do something crazy, bro.
Put him on notice that this is going to be a match. This isn't going to be you just walking through someone. Yeah. This is a Saturday night's main event again. And I think they have time. Like I said, there's still a couple weeks to tell their story, and they'll both be there for it. Like you said,
and we forget, bro, because I don't want to put you in the same category as me. I forget that WrestleMania is still like 4. That's how long the buildup has been. It's still like 4 weeks away.
I like it. And Joel, I'm going to bring up what you had just brought up here in a second too. I have that coming up for a bunch of other things. Matt says, I think the triple threat is going to have to be something because Punk hinted that like that contract better have what he wants in it. Is that the main event of Mania, a title shot? I think you could do a number one contendership and say like Backlash, I'm the next one in line for the World Heavyweight title or the WWE Championship. But I also think, I don't know. You got to be careful with what you're doing here.
I do have an announcement, though, as it relates to something we're talking about, though. On Hubbonomics, on the night before WrestleMania Night 1, before SmackDown, WrestleMania SmackDown, we're calling it WrestleMania Hubbonomics, me and my special guest will be reviewing, as it will be available to the public by that time, the match order of WrestleMania. We will know by then, by Friday the 18th, which is before the 19th, the day before WrestleMania Night 1, the match order will be revealed. I got word on that, so we will know, but the night before, what the WrestleMania card in order is going to be.
Right. I think they should do that early, too, though. Yep. I like how New Japan does it, and they say that. Speaking of New Japan, segued myself right here. Sakura Genesis, it's going down. Now, we know David Finlay, the son of Fit Finlay, won the New Japan Cup. Isn't that a beautiful trophy? He wins, and he is now going to go to Sakura Genesis to challenge Hiroki Goto for the championship. This is the rest of the card. Hey, I see that Jeff Cobb guy there. He's still there.
Still there.
Very interesting. You've got Shota Umino taking on Tanahashi. You've got ELP defending his television championship. You got Yuya Uemura taking on Sonata. I feel like New Japan is bouncing back. I feel like AEW is bouncing back a little bit. I know that it was hard times for those with AEW and New Japan, but I think they're starting to pick up a little steam and figuring out what they're doing. Hey, Konosuke Takeshita. Look at that guy. He's all over the place. I think it's a good thing right now for him. But any quick thoughts on David Finlay winning the New Japan Cup, Sean?
Much deserved. He's been putting a lot of work in over the years. He's a longtime veteran. Same gumption and hard work ethic as his father. And I'm happy to see he's doing so well. I don't know if that would translate to the mainland, but we shall see. I'm sure he's going to have an opportunity.
I think this is his chance to make a splash and do something, though. But the Goto run has increased ticket sales and stuff, too. So I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't know if it's worth it to take that chance, but I'm happy Goto got his run. Kind of like how you said with Jay. Fans are just happy, like, you know what? Goto deserved that years ago, and he finally got it now, even though it's probably a little past when he should have gotten it. But
I'm gonna make a t-shirt. Resumes matter.
That is true. Going into the next piece of business here, Joel just brought this up, but we found out Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, not going to be WrestleMania weekend like it has for years and years and years, Sean. They decided to move the show Friday, May 2nd to Atlantic City at Boardwalk Hall.
And just announced WWE is going to be having a special edition of the main event on Friday, May 2nd.
They're going up against SmackDown. They're not doing nothing.
I'm just joking.
It'll be the best Raw's going to be there. NXT's going to be there.
Returning for one night only, The Undertaker. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The Rock. Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, though. Good for them. I'm looking forward to this show. I think it's a cool venue, and I like that they didn't do We're Not Following You. So they backed away from it.
They had to make some adjustments. I'm a big advocate of WrestleMania weekend being jam-packed to the brim with wrestling. But at the same time, just that phrase that I just said, Conrad, WrestleMania weekend. They don't want that. They want it to be Ring of Honor weekend. So that's what they're doing, and I respect that.
Yes, and Matt, thank you for bringing up Yuji Nagata. Shout out to him, legend. I know some of you may know him from WCW, but check out Blue Justice. Yuji Nagata is also a tremendous legend in the sport of pro wrestling, especially in the world of New Japan.
I do think the world of pro wrestling is missing a very cool window, though. I think that somebody should book something for immediately following SmackDown, maybe a show on the West Coast to rival the Hall of Fame ceremony. Which, by the way, do you know when the Hall of Fame ceremony is? Is it going to be televised?
I don't know. I know that roast thing isn't.
Right. It feels weird. It feels like there might be a small chance that it's not going to be on TV.
Right, and they moved it. It's like in a venue now. It's not like in the arena.
Yeah, and it's not SmackDown. Like SmackDown would still be going on.
How do you prefer the Hall of Fame? Do you like it when it was in the arena, or did you prefer it like, we're in like a little concert hall, we have our setup?
Not this year, because this year is different because it's Easter weekend, which is a very big religious weekend for me. So I'm kind of glad it's kind of a little bit separated. But normally, I wouldn't have to get up early for church, three or four church services, trying to catch WrestleMania in between. I love the idea of having a big night on SmackDown immediately followed by the Hall of Fame in the arena. I like it. It never bothered me.
I always feel like maybe they should do it Thursday, like do that, and then I don't know, because they're doing Slammy Awards too. I didn't want to really get into that.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like there's a small chance, and I repeat, a small chance that it may not be televised.
Could be, but I think you have to come to a deal where it's like it's going to be on Peacock or it's going to be on Netflix. We got it, but air it somewhere, because people do want to see those speeches and things like that. I've gotten bad over the years, though. I'll tell you, since like 33, I've kind of missed parts of them, and I'm like, I'm okay with missing parts of them. I'll go back and watch pieces later. Like I watched Heyman's last year after the fact.
There you go.
In the world of other things, I got to get your opinion on something before I get into the Dynasty card. Jon Moxley, the spot that I knew everyone would talk about forever and ever. What an idiot, taking a suplex on a spike 2x4. Why would you do that to yourself? What do you think? Is it Jon Moxley, or, me and Rob had a good philosophical discussion back and forth about it, like comparing it to like Foley and Terry Funk. Like, well, did you get mad when Mick Foley did some of this stuff? Well, that was different. And I'm like, no, that's not different. Like, he's trying to push it. Someday someone might push it too far. You got to be careful with what you're doing. But I think Moxley knew enough to, okay. He's trying to impress you. You say he's not doing enough to impress. He's trying to impress you, or at least be like, remember what I'm doing.
I've been someone who said that Moxley has not really been living up to standard lately. Look, that doesn't change because you took a spot on a spiked bat, but it does make him a tough SOB, and it does reiterate what we've already known, which is that he loves the business and is willing to sacrifice his body for the business. I respect him for it. That still doesn't mean that I don't think Swerve Strickland should be the next AEW World Champion, because I do.
Oh, no, we all are still saying no, that's the move.
Because I do. But that night when he did that, and especially the aftermath when they were trying to get the bat out of his back, that was rough.
We're about to get a new T-shirt idea, I think, Sean. Okay. That sarcasm is definitely popping up now.
I like that. Oh, shout out to M. Leasy. He says, Hubs, you think the Hall of Fame, the headliner of Hall of Fame, Triple H, isn't going to want it to be live televised? Really?
He brings up a good point.
You and Clown as well. Clown said the same. You're probably right. I just didn't notice that they said exclusively on Peacock. I noticed they haven't been announcing that.
We're going to have to make a couple adjustments, but I'll be there last. Give me 30 minutes. Thank you.
Because even the time frame doesn't add up, Conrad. And chat, help me out. The time frame doesn't add up. SmackDown is till 11. You got to remember, SmackDown's till 11.
Yeah.
11. Help me out. Okay, here's the thing that I'm thinking.
You cut that, you make SmackDown 2 hours, give them the wrestling, and then the last hour you put on the Hall of Fame.
Or perhaps SmackDown, but no, that's wrong. I was about to say SmackDown might be on the East Coast, but SmackDown's going to be in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So that totally wipes out my thing. Yeah, it has to be. You're right. It has to be what you said. They have to cut SmackDown down by an hour.
Yeah, and then just continue the show from there.
Yeah.
Who said it? Marcus Crane, Clown says, seen him slammed on a pigeon board. Dude, I saw a worse one today from Japan death match where it was scissors. So yeah, I was like, open, all of them open.
McKinney, you behave yourself, McKinney. Now, what you know what? Even as a Christian man, listen. Even as a Christian man, I gotta admit that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I gotta give McKinney.
I was gonna start singing the TNA theme just so that
no, but you know what he's playing on, right?
Yes.
You know what day that is?
Yes.
Oh man, McKinney, you're a bad guy, bro. But you know what? Even as a believer, I gotta give you credit. That's pretty freaking funny.
Give McKinney his moment right there for a second.
Oh man, I'll repeat it. That's funny. I'll repeat it. McKinney says on the play of it being on Easter Sunday, WrestleMania, April 20th, 2025, Genesis 1/29. McKinney, that is pretty funny. I can't. That is pretty funny. Oh, McKinney, you're something else, man. That's just as bad as Austin 316 in 1996.
Clown coming in too.
God, wait. God, what is it? Clown 13Z4 says, God give me all seed-bearing plants and herbs. Oh, come on.
He didn't say anything wrong, though.
Wait, but time out. Am I misreading this? Is it not just a play on Easter, but it's also a play on the fact that it's you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Stop it.
Terrell said, I still think WWE TNA crossover is going to lead into a TNA invasion at WrestleMania. Aces and eights? Nah. Maybe at NXT.
Oh, come on. You guys need to behave yourselves now. All right? Stop it. Behave. Now, look, I have a sense of humor. I'm kind of laughing underneath my distaste. But you guys need to stop it. That's a holy day. Be nice. Be respectful.
I'm laughing. They don't give holiday pay for that day.
Well, that's true, too.
Getting a slight echo.
I'm still trying. Yeah, I got you. I'll figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to work that day, bro, because I got service. No, but I should be all right. I got service at 9 a.m. Little insight to my Easter Sunday. I got service at 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and 3 p.m. WrestleMania should start at 7, right?
Yeah, or 6 maybe. I don't know.
Oh, if it's 6, I might be late. Oh, God. Okay, go ahead.
We'll figure it out. I'm just running through Dynasty real quick. We did have teases of maybe they'll do Mercedes and Athena. I think you should hold off a little bit on it, but I could see it unless you're going to do a 3-matcher out of this and keep it going until All In. But I would look forward to this. They've never had a singles match.
Do you think she's the one who dethrones her?
I think one of them's going to dethrone the other one, maybe.
Well, we know that, but do you think it's going to be the one that shocks the world and Mercedes goes down?
Could be. I think it could be also the reverse too for the ROH women's title too. She could dethrone her. Lots of things.
Mercedes 5 belts. Do we dare?
Why not? At this point, why not? She's been killing it.
Yeah, but I'm starting to get on that. It took me a while, right? I got to give you credit. I'm on that Athena bandwagon. I don't want to see her lose.
Listen. I think it could be good stuff. And you still got the Billy Stark story.
Can you say time limit draw?
Could be. Wouldn't hurt. Speaking of the other women's championship, I'm kind of liking Timeless Toni Storm, and she's going up against Megan Bayne.
Not bad. I mean, you know who's going to win, but not bad.
We also have a triple threat match. Kenny Omega is going to be out here doing his thing with Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Ricochet. I'm sure that will be a good one to watch out for. I do not believe Kenny Omega is losing any championships till All In, so I think it's safe to say that we should be good here.
Totally.
And then we got Swerve and Moxley. And I only brought this up for one reason, bro. Did you see Hangman's promo?
Yeah, pretty good.
No, I'm worried.
Worried about what? I thought
he said, I'm not a man who breaks my promises, and I promise that Swerve Strickland will never win that AEW championship if I can prevent it.
Yeah, but that's if he can prevent. I see what you're saying. He's gonna, but where I'm going with it is that he's calling his shot. See, the better way to have done it. Feel me on this. The better way to have done it is that we like Hangman now. We're almost maybe forgotten about how Hangman used to, but then he remembered, and then at that night he cost him the title, and we're like, oh yeah, we forgot. The fact that he talked about it makes me think he might not,
And I love people announcing they're in for the Owen. Ospreay has said, like, yo, I'm going to All In and I'm going to be the world champ. And now Hangman's like, no, I'm going to be the world champ when it comes to, and I like this. It's adding some intriguing layers to it.
Yes, sir.
Could Mercedes get female wrestler of the year? I think it's possible. There's still a lot of time.
I think it's another P word. I think it's probable because she's been rolling.
I mean, there's stiff competition. You got Timeless Toni Storm. I think Stephanie Baker's been killing it. We don't know how this whole Tiffany Charlotte thing is going to turn up, but there's a lot of good things.
You got to give some respect.
Bianca could be coming back into the fold. Io,
and even maybe Liv Morgan too.
She definitely has succeeded. Jacine, man, welcome, brother. Welcome.
What up, Jacine?
Enjoying the island mode. Enjoy it, brother. I'm off and I finally get paid for the first time.
I'm not mad at you.
Mercedes versus Athena needs to happen. It's the match we've all been asking for. Toni Storm versus Megan Ivan Drago Bane.
I like that, Delayed Grass. I like that.
Is Swerve, please save us from the Death Riders. Here, yes. Is this sarcasm too? Mercedes Hogan. Stop. Y'all leave Mercedes and Copeland alone.
Stop. Man, yo, Jesse, you're my dog, but you got to chill, bro. Mercedes Hogan.
Yo, where were people when she was losing the belt after she would win it in a week?
In her hometown.
For no reason, bro. I was like, why do you get my hopes up every time and then do this?
Yeah, bro.
But yeah.
Shout out to Jada Parker, who's getting a shot at the NXT title, but we know she's not going to win because Akira just got. But I like Jada Parker. I like Jada Parker for more reasons. I have never time out. I have never ever seen you do that before.
I'm saying she's a technical wizard in the ring.
No, you always hold it together, and that was a look that had nothing to do with wrestling. God bless you for a real moment from Conrad Cushman. He has blood in his veins.
Miss Parker.
My brother has blood in his veins. I can't believe. Yeah, Jada Parker's gorgeous, but also in addition to being gorgeous, she's good in the ring too.
Ooh, Mercedes is ROH champ, helps get a TV deal. I've heard they've been offered one and they turned it down. They said it wasn't the right deal. But
God will gamble. You are not alone, my brother. I might roll those dice.
Gotta chill, bro. Gotta chill.
Listen, I love my girl, but that's what hall passes are for.
We're gonna end this show on a proper note here. And
no, Jada Parker. I'm saying it on the air because I'm a man with a warm-blooded man. I'm telling you guys on the air that my hall pass has officially changed from Beyonce to Jada Parker. I'm saying it. I put it out there. My hall pass, my girl's hall pass is still Michael B. Jordan, like whatever. But my hall pass has changed from Beyonce to Jada Parker. Talk about it, Conrad. Comment on what I just said.
Not a bad choice. So,
thank you, sir.
getting into AEW turned down an ROH TV deal. It must have been a horrible deal. Probably was, Delayed Grass. That's what I'm saying. But
yeah,
I don't blame them for it. Like if you have to hit a certain amount to at least break even, like yeah, no, we're not underselling the farm here.
Yeah.
I have everything for Raw. We kind of discussed everything that happened on Raw.
Yeah, we still don't know who the Intercontinental Champion is, but
we did. Matt put it up. DQ finish, obviously.
Oh, DQ. Oh boy.
You know, we knew that. Come on.
Yeah, true.
Tomorrow, something that brought us great joy, and we might have to add this back into our conversation if Sean wants it. Dark Side of the Ring. We got a special Hell in a Cell. As you can see, that is Mick Foley with a wonderful.
When, my brother? When? Educate me.
Tomorrow. When's Dark Side of the Ring? Is it 10 usually?
Oh, really? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm excited. I didn't know it was back already.
Yeah, the new season kicks off tomorrow on Vice. So
we should talk about that next
week. Yeah, we could talk about it. I've talked a lot about that match.
You sure tomorrow?
Yeah, it's back tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, I ain't got to be elite to go all in. Chill.
Shout out to McKinney. McKinney talking some truth, too. Let me tell you something, man. I always said Beyonce was the one woman that I wanted a hall pass for. See, to me, my girl, shout out to my baby. I love you, girl. She says back in the day it was Denzel Washington, because we're in our late 30s, so we all know Denzel Washington was the man back in the day. Then it changed to Michael B. Jordan. You know what? Suck it. Who gives a crap? Beyonce was always my hall pass, but Jada Parker, oh boy, Jada Parker is taking the hall pass slot. Good to dream, because you know what? Those dreams never come true.
I was going to play this audio behind it called Daydreaming, but we're about to get out of here. Do me a favor. Hit the like button if you didn't already. Also, leave a comment after the video. I want an emoji. Yo, chill, Sean. We started ending this while. It's definitely
baby,
time to go.
It's my time, baby.
It's time to go. It's definitely time. Everyone pack up. Right, everyone pack up. The barbecue is over. We're done.
Baby!
Thank you guys for joining us, man. It is all love. I'm going to let Sean take us out of here with some wise words of wisdom and wrap us up.
Listen, it's WrestleMania season. Have fun. Be good to each other, man. Love somebody, man, whether it's a platonic love, such as friendship, whether it's a romantic love on the person that you're with, whether it's a friendship love to somebody that is your brother or your homie or your friend or your sister. Just show love, man. It's the godly way. It's the blessed way. Love changes things, and so does prayer, man. So say a prayer for your loved ones. Throw love in the atmosphere and watch it come back to you in a great way. That being said, on behalf of my good friend Conrad Cushman, so happy to be with you guys. We're having fun, baby. We're having fun, baby. It's my time, baby. This is Clash of the Podcast. Hubbard Wrestling Weekly is here. Everything Pro Wrestling's here. We are very excited to continue to bring you the very best in professional wrestling. Conrad and my guy Derek, 10 p.m. Wednesday night, AEW review. Hubbonomics the night before WrestleMania, big show coming up with the review of the new and freshly revealed match order of WrestleMania 41. That and a whole lot more. And, of course, me and Conrad right back here on Monday night, next Monday. Conrad, you got something else?
No.
I thought Conrad was about to bless us with something else. But that being said, God bless, be encouraged. Evil never prevails. Until next week, peace. Baby.